Indian attacks were relatively rare on the Oregon Trail. Contrary to the depictions of dime novels and Hollywood westerns, attacks by the Plain Indians were not the greatest hazard faced by westbound settlers. While pioneer trains did circle the wagons at night, it was mostly to keep the draft animals from wandering off, not to protect against an ambush. Natives were more likely to be allies and trading partners than adversaries. Many wagon trains made use of Pawnee and other native trail guides. Hostile encounters increased in the years after the beginning of the Civil War, but statistics show around 400 settlers were killed by natives between 1840 and 1860. The more pressing threat was cholera and other diseases, which were responsible for the vast majority of the estimated 20,000 deaths that occurred along the Oregon Trail. Most Oregon Trail pioneers didn't settle in Oregon. Only around 80,000 of the estimated 400,000 Oregon Trail immigrants actually ended their journey in Oregon. Of the rest of the vast majority splintered off from the main route in either Wyoming or Idaho and took separate trails leading to California and Utah. The California Trail was eventually traveled by some 250,000 settlers, most of them prospectors seeking to strike it rich in the gold fields. The Utah route, meanwhile, shuttered roughly 70,000 Mormon pilgrims to the lands surrounding Salt Lake City. Women took on an extra burden on the Oregon Trail. Taking a family of settlers across the plains required a lot of labor, particularly on the part of the female settlers. Women were generally expected to complete their traditional tasks, including washing and mending clothes and preparing meals. But the demands of the trail meant that women sometimes did men's work as well, shoeing and driving animals, repairing wagons, and even taking up arms in self-defense. The Oregon Trail didn't follow a single set path. While most Oregon-bound immigrants traveled a route that passed by landmarks in Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska, Wyoming, Idaho, and Oregon, there was just never one set of wagon routes leading west. Pioneers often spread out over several miles across the plains to hunt, find grazing patches for their animals, and avoid choking dust clouds kicked up by other wagon trains. As the years passed, enterprising settlers also blazed dozens of new trails or cutoffs that allowed travelers to bypass stopping points and reach their destination quicker. These shortcuts were especially popular in Wyoming, where the network of alternative pathways meandered more than 100 miles north and south. Oregon Trail guidebooks were so unhelpful they became a bad joke. Most Oregon Trail immigrants learned what routes to take, what supplies to bring, and how to survive on the trail through printing guidebooks. Unfortunately, many of these guidebooks were pretty much unreliable, giving rosy descriptions of the trail, which was in reality incredibly challenging. But when a group called a Donner Party attempted to take Hastings' proposed route, which by the way he had never actually traveled himself, they found a steep and rugged and largely unmarked trail. Almost half of the party perished, with some resorting to cannibalism to survive.